This is a proof of concept showcasing the idea of managing NERC compliances by automating the auditing process. This includes the creation of the RSOL, keeping a paper trail of who did what and when, and storing relevant information and documents for compliance. We are starting at the end user portal, and everything that you see here is 100% web delivered, so not only can everything be accessed from an external system using web services, it is completely customizable and can be unique to your organization. So this is just an option where a customer can go to get work done. Now you have some customers who integrate decisions with other systems like Salesforce, SharePoint, or even company websites for their end user experience. So if you already have a customer-facing portal, we could easily have a link or button embedded in your portal so that a user can kick off different workflows right from that web page. If not, we can create a more tailored landing page similar to this to help navigate users throughout the portal. So what you're seeing here is a landing page or kind of a main menu where it'll allow users to navigate throughout the portal and even take actions. So you might see actions here such as keep components KPIs, review RSOL library, evidence locker, my tasks, NERC, so it's just taking you to the NERC website, and additionally view more reports. But what we're going to start off today is this view RSOL library. So if I click on that, it's going to take me to another dashboard where I'm actually seeing other key performance indicators such as the number of RSOLs. So I have 111 RSOLs in this particular library. I have 53 RSOLs that are not yet completed. Now I also have an average turnaround time for 7.5 hours. And out of the 111 RSOLs, I have 21% that are complete. Now what you also see on this dashboard is a report. So this report is actually showing us all of the 111 RSOLs, and we have it filtered by state. So you'll see that these are all assignments complete. There's another filter for assignments sent. And if I continue to scroll down, you will see that there are ones for states that are ready for audit. So these are the ones that are good to go. Now also I want to point out that if I want to filter by different column, we can easily do that real time on the report as well. Now also, you'll notice that if I click on a different selection on the report, that this activity panel on the right-hand side is going to update. Now this activity panel is a complete audit trail. So for example, it has a date timestamp. It can tell me who was assigned what assignment, how long it took for them to complete, when that completion date was. Now additionally, we can have any documents that are associated with this particular selection. And then we can also see the particular status. So which states did it take to get to this assignment's complete? Now, if assignments are assigned to me and I actually have the permission, I can actually take action right from that activity panel and complete my assignments here. Now also, we have on this report the ability to drill down. So if I select this BAL0012 RSOL, I can actually drill down and review the requirements and evidence for this RSOL. So there's 3 evidence total for this RSOL. It was completed in November, and it's 75% complete. So it's at a status of that assignments are complete, and we're actually now waiting for the review of the RSOL to be completed. We have a report here of the requirements for this RSOL. Now you'll see that as I make a selection for the requirement, we see all the evidence that are associated with this particular requirement. Now if we had a more extensive list, you would see the evidence all listed here. But what we're going to go ahead and do is navigate back to the RSOL library and kick off the workflow and simulate the process. So you'll also notice on this dashboard we have a button that says Start New RSOL. So I can go ahead and click that. And what this is going to enable me to do is start an RSOL that isn't already specified. So currently we have it pre-populated for PRC 005-6 coming into the RSOL for us to complete. So we have 5 requirements for the standard. You'll see that we have a description pre-populated as well. But on this form, what I'm supposed to be doing is selecting a subject matter expert. So who am I assigning these requirements to? Now, I'm going to go ahead and select myself for each one of these, but these are also multi-select options. So I could select multiple people to complete this assignment. Now, also I want to point out that our forms are completely customizable. You can actually create and customize these in a no-code format. So, this doesn't have to look this particular way, and we can really truly make it unique. But I'll go ahead and click Next. And now the assignments have been set to the subject matter experts. So I'm going to go ahead and close this. And I'm actually going to navigate to another browser. Now quickly I want to point out that I'm currently logged in as Elise at Decisions. So when I go to another browser here, you'll notice that now I'm logged in as Elise+2 at decisions.com in my incognito browser. Now you'll also see all of my assignments that are coming in. So we can actually make assignments in series or parallel. So currently these are all in parallel, meaning that I'll get one of these assignments at the same time and be able to complete it in any order. Now, if it was a series, what you might see is after completion of one requirement, another person will be assigned after that completion. But I'll go ahead and start filling these out, and I'm going to just simply review requirement 2. Now, the basis of this is for this requirement that we've been assigned, what we're supposed to be doing is entering in evidence. So, this evidence would likely be, some information about this requirement. Now, also I want to quickly point out that I could select a file, so a document that's associated, and this is going to actually later be saved in my database. Now also I can add multiple evidence or as much evidence as I need. So you'll notice that here I have 3, and I'll fill out that as well. And then I'm going to fill out a compliance narrative so that can actually be added to that the RSOL at the end. Now also, I want to go ahead and submit this, and you'll notice that I actually get a lot of validation errors. So these are self-validating. I could set up these validations. I could even set up calculations on these forms. Once I actually fill this out, I will no longer have these validations. But I'll go ahead and fill out these next couple of forms, and once I'm finished, I will return back to the landing page. All right, so now all the assignments are complete and I'm back at the landing page. Now I want to show one other thing before I continue on to review some tasks. So I'll go ahead and go to my email here, and you're going to see that I've received emails for each of these assignments, but I've also received an email for this completed RSAW. So I could have a notification sent out to whoever needs to see particular information. But let me go ahead and go back to my landing page, and I'm going to also say that I'm going to go to my tasks here. So when I go to my tasks, I get to see all of the tasks that are currently assigned to me, so it's not constrained to any one workflow. So you might see a completed RSAW in the same list. I might see, a different request to work. So I'll go ahead and actually right-click this and review this RSAW. Now I'm just going to go ahead and expand this a little bit. But what you see here is a PDF that was generated in workflow. So what I have here is that reliability standard audit worksheet that was completed after the submission of all the requirements. So as I scroll down, you'll notice that I have the subject matter experts recorded. So you'll see that Elisa Borney has been assigned for R1 through R5. Now I'll continue to scroll down here, and you're going to see all the information that you would typically see for PRC 005-6. So I'll keep scrolling, and you'll see that narrative that I entered in. And then I should see two documents associated with requirement 1. So I'll continue to scroll. We're at R2 now. And all these green sections are going to be the information that was entered in on the forms, or that are required by the entity. So for requirement 2, we have 3 evidence. For requirement 3, I have 1 evidence. And then I'll go to R4 here, and we'll see the compliance narrative as well as the evidence. And last but not least, for requirement 5, the compliance narrative and the single evidence. So the idea here is that a supervisor or a manager would be receiving this task to evaluate this completed RSAW and then make a decision to reject or approve. So in a case of a rejection, we have it set up so that if the manager could select a particular requirement that needs to be done, so that it doesn't have to be all of the requirements that are redone, and instead it's just the selected one. And then we also have the approve button, which is what we're actually going to be doing for the time's sake of this demo. But what I would see here is, based on the completed date, I should see PRC 0056, and it's ready for audit. So I could go ahead and click on PRC 0056 and drill down into it. So when I do that, I can see that there's actually a total of 8 evidence here with a turnaround time of 1796 minutes. And then we have the completed status of 100% and that it's ready for audit. So like I did before, we can see which evidence are associated with a particular requirement, but also what we have the ability to do is actually manage versions of the evidence. So we understand that the documents are going to change over time. So you have the ability to actually view older revision, view the evidence itself, or actually revise it. So we could revise this. Let's perhaps give this another revision number. So we'll say maybe M. We could just change some details about this particular evidence, even though it's been created. So there was an update. And then I'll choose a file and click OK. So what you're going to see is this revision actually going to change, And so now what will be happening in the background is that I could be reviewing those older revisions at any time. Now also you'll see on the right-hand side that I can actually download the RSOL PDF at any time and review this outside of that form that we've initially evaluated. So we have the RSOL living here, and we can easily find this document, provide the RSOL and all the evidence when it comes to audit time. We have the paper trail, but we also are reducing the bottlenecks, mistakes, and helping reduce the fees we're paying for violations. Now there is one more piece to this proof of concept that we'd like to show you. So we're going to go ahead and go back to this landing page and navigate to the components KPIs. So this components KPIs shows us some more key performance indicators. So we have 98 components, for example, and we have 2 components that are past due, meaning that there's 2 violations and there's going to be large amounts of fees associated with it. Now we have 4 that are due in the next 30 days, and then it actually gives us that due date. But these are just examples. Again, this is completely customizable, so you could see different metrics that are important to your organization. But also on this report, you're going to see that we have each one of these components. Now, we have some color rules on this report, just indicating that red is past due. Orange is going to be components that are due in the next 30 days. Yellow indicates components that are due in the next 60 days. Blue is going to indicate components that are in the next 60-day to 1-year time frame. And then green will be past that year frame, that 1-year time frame. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll back to the top. But the idea here is that we could either integrate with your current compliance system, or we could actually build out the compliance system in Decision, so you kind of have that all in one, without having to integrate with other systems. But we have the option for both. Now, if I right-click here, the idea here is that I could take some actions on this and say that, let's say I perform inspection. So we'd be maybe getting the information from an API call. We could have it in a different database. We could say perform inspection. We could push that information to wherever that you're storing that information. And also, before I refresh this report, you're going to notice that I have this max interval column. So this is actually in years. So what this will be doing once I click to perform inspection is calculating the next due date. So the next due date is going to be 2017 plus 6. So if I scroll down, once I refresh this here, I'll have 1 components that are now past due, and my report's going to update. So let me go ahead and scroll down. And here's that component that I just updated here and performed inspection on. So it calculated that 2017 date to 6 years. And now it's down here at towards the bottom. And now it's going to be past that 1-year mark. I hope that we were able to show you some of the key features of our platform.